Okay, YouTube, listen, this is well, I say quick, but it'll probably ramble on. I talk like I write, and that is a lot. This is a look at the Wild Hawk that you get from Harbor Freight. Let me take a quick look here. That's what it looks like coming out of the box. That's exactly it. It's about $99 if you walk in the door, but they have 20% coupons out there all the time. Yeah, you can get it for about $79. It's got about a 54-inch wingspan. It's not a great looking aircraft the way it comes, but I'm telling you, you can do a lot with this thing. I have done tons of mods. I put this thing in the air. It flies like a dream. I love it. And the camera that you're watching right now will be mounted on it later this afternoon, I hope, and we'll get some flight in. Anyway, on to my version. On YouTube, all over, there are tons of mods for this aircraft, but I'm going to run down everything I've done real quick. The first is, obviously, I've added the Ailerons, and they work like a charm. They also work in a flap configuration as well. In fact, this thing with flaps on is just incredible. As you can see, it's painted. I couldn't live with that. So I went with this. I took some olive drab green, some flat black, and made a little bit of a, I don't know what you call it, but it looks great. I don't know how it looks on the video, but it looks great in person. It's a beautiful aircraft. So as you can see, I've changed out the motor. This has the, one thing that I hate seeing on videos is people not telling exactly what they've got. This is the BL 2212/6. Google that number and it comes up as the Grayson Hobbies V2. It comes up as a number of different engines, but they're all the same thing, 2200 kV. It's a beautiful little 6.4 prop on it, pusher prop. This thing flies like a dream. So I added that on, put the 40 amp ESC out on the top of the fuse. In the motor mount, I really didn't do a whole lot. See if I can get around here. This is a plywood plate that I added on. I just kind of laid it up against there, traced it out, and tried to cut it out and thought, well, that's dumb. So I took a 1 inch, maybe it was 1.5 inches, I don't know what it was, hole saw, and cut a hole out of a piece of plywood and used that insert and just kind of mounted it right up on here. The engine mounts to it, runs like a charm, works great. In the engine pod itself, I went right straight down through here with a .180 carbon fiber rod, and that runs straight through to almost the bottom of the fuse, just to kind of give some integrity to this pod in the event of an accident. And going back in through the hole, I hot glued. I did not fill that with hot glue, but I did hot glue around the stick on both the top and the bottom down here. So, and when I drilled the pre-hole for it, I kind of dripped hot glue right down in there. That took some aiming, but I did. I got it right down through the hole, ran the rod down in, secured it top and bottom of the hole with hot glue. So these anchor points, I debated this. How do I hold that wing on? You've seen the videos out there where guys' wings come off. I know people in real life who've lost wings, and I just can't do it. So I put these anchor points on there. This is 1/4 inch plywood. Maybe it's not quite quarter. 3/8 maybe. No, whatever's less than a quarter. And I cut holes out for it, hot glued it in. The hole is not a flat bottom. It's a kind of a stair-stepped bottom, so I have lots of surface area there for glue. Hacked up the bottom of the wood so there was some adhesion there. And stuck these 2 hard points in there. Rubber band, fairly high tension, but not too high tension, kind of pulling that wing back together so it pulls in on itself while we're in flight. And it works like a charm, doesn't add any substantial weight to it. Everything works great. So up in the cockpit, really no major difference. One of you, and my apologies to the guy who did it, but whoever it was that talked about putting the extenders in there for the Aileron servos so you can just plug right into the fuse and not have to lace everything inside. Great idea, super easy mod, took virtually no time, and it truly makes a world of difference. So I just pull this Aileron cable when it's not shoved up inside the plane, like it shouldn't be, and when I'm ready to fire it up, just kind of plug it in there, boop, away it goes. And when I take the wings off, they're easy to separate, very easy. It's a great mod, super easy to do, lots of room inside that cavity. Doesn't look like it now because I got all this stuff wadded up in there, but there's plenty of room in there. So I also took out that little firewall right there so I could have all this area for battery. It's a great idea. I'm running a little 1300 milliamp battery. It's not super high power, but it'll get it up. You know, if you're going to fly around all day with this thing, run something bigger. But if you want to put a camera on it, get it in the air, go look at something, go film your neighborhood or whatever you want to film, and then bring it back down, 10-15 minute flight. That little battery sits in there. The battery cable wads up inside there. I have a plate that fits across here that the camera attaches to, and off it goes. Take the canopy off. I got a flat bed right here. It's a great little deal. As far as the other mods, I saw a lot of guys with beat up aircraft, so I have carbon fiber spars running across the front and running across the other side, just kind of to give it some integrity to that nose. And this has had, unfortunately, one nose in, and that's how it looks. No major damage. It did bend the nose a little bit. Needs to go back that way, but anyway, I also have carbon fibered spar all the way down the bottom to add some integrity to that tail, because that's just a big long foam shaft. That thing will split in half in no time. And I also added a carbon fiber rod on the top, from the top of the vertical stab up to the point where the prop is. And this tail is super stable. You can grab it and wave it around. It's not a problem. You'll also note right under the prop, I cut out some of the foam just in the event of, you know, who knows what's going to happen, but in the event that that prop ever makes contact right there, that's a piece of 1/4 inch plywood, the same stuff used up here on the hard points, inset into the tail there and painted. So it's a nice hard surface under that prop. The last, let me show you. The other front end mod I did was I added popsicle stick runners to this thing because it was just getting chewed up with landings, really getting chewed up a lot. So I added popsicle sticks to the front, hot glued on there, just to, I don't really do anything other than provide a skid surface. The other mod that I did to it was in the control surfaces. You see where I added the Depron foam onto the back end? That is Dollar Tree foam with the paper backing removed. Cut out, I traced the tail off onto the foam, cut it out to match, glued it on. Same thing done for the rudder and the other stab. I did not reinforce that joint between the two halves of the horizontal of the elevator. I just kind of ran an extra bead of hot glue down that, and it stiffened right up. Works like a charm. So that's the long and short of most of the mods I've done to this to take it from that wimpy thing to this monster. And let me tell you, this bad boy will fly. So I will hope to get some video out of it today, and I'll post that up sometime this afternoon, perhaps. All right, that's all I have for you. That's my short review of the Wild Hawk by whoever that Harbor Freight. It's a great aircraft partner. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong. $70 for the aircraft, and maybe, I don't know, another $50 or so for modifications to it. Even if it was another $100, it's still under $200, and this is a screaming airplane now. Incredible compared to what it was when it came home. All right, talk to you later. Bye.